ride, Witcher, ride, with the wind that moves the trees. Ride, Witcher, ride, with a child of destiny. So in honor and celebration of Henry Cavill's last appearance as Geralt of Rivia, we got on a little medieval tunic. But yeah, The Witcher Season 3 Part 2 came out. And I've got to say, overall, I'm pretty surprised. If you saw my previous video on The Witcher Season 3 Part 1, you know that I liked it, but I thought there were a bunch of things that were pretty off and pretty weird. There were things that I just didn't like, but the season ended in a way where I went, that was pretty good. I enjoyed what I watched. Like, it's not perfect. There are a lot of silly and dumb things to laugh at and to nitpick at in the back half of Season 3. For example, a lot of the acting at times is pretty, like, theater-esque, or at least it's really overdone at times. There are points where characters are just like, what are we going to do? We need to do this. Some of the actors just don't fit their roles. They feel too hammy. They feel like they don't suit the characters they're playing. They lack gravitas. I find that to be the case with a lot of the mages they've cast. A lot of them just seem very, oh yeah, we're gonna have to do a bunch of all this magic stuff. And the magic stuff in the second half of Season 3 was good. I liked the overall concept. Stregobor was a badass. Lars Mikkelsen killed it. When he shows up with, like, the fire magic and stuff, I was like, okay, this is pretty cool. Stregobor's, like, paying off to do something. I think he dies, which kind of sucks, I guess. But then also, I'm still undecided whether or not I'm going to continue with the show after Season 3. But the thing is that the season ended, and I didn't hate it. I went, oh, yeah, if Henry Cavill came back for Season 4, I would have continued watching it, but alas, he's not. I'm still conflicted. I might have to see a trailer for Season 4, because right now, I watched it and I was like, I do want to see where this goes. Another dumb thing too was the moment with Ciri and Cahir, where, like, she fights Cahir, beats him in a sword fight, and then, like, holds him by, like, the scruff of his breastplate over the edge of a cliff with one hand. And I'm sorry, it looks stupid. Look, Freya Allan, I love her. She's great as Ciri, and I think she's a good actor, but, she's not a very big young woman. She grabs this 6-foot man by the scruff of his neck with one arm and lets him hang over a cliff, and she's not even struggling. It looks goofy. It looks stupid. It's supposed to be this deep and powerful and poignant moment where she has the man that essentially ruined her life, killed a bunch of her friends and loved ones, and it just looks dumb because she's just holding him by one arm, not even struggling. It just looks silly. Like, have her take him to the ground and she's, like, over him and, like, pointing her sword down his throat or something. It just looks silly. Look, the story point is interesting because Cahir says, Ciri, I'm not here to harm you. I'm here to protect you. I've now switched sides. I'm now going to betray Emhyr. That was good. That was interesting. But, just the way the scene was executed was dumb. Also, a lot of the juvenile writing I had with Season 2 and the first half of Season 3 is still present in the second half of Season 3. I cannot believe they genuinely had Ciri face off Rience and then just go, come here, firefucker. I hate that so much. The writers in this show just love using the F word so much, and it's like, why? What is this adding to your dialogue? It adds nothing. If anything, it adds to the saying of, you know, when people go, oh, if you swear a lot, that means you don't have anything important to say. That's what it feels like with The Witcher. They can't have characters express their emotions with dialogue or with physical emotion. They just have to have them go, fuck! It's stupid. There are times in the first season where Geralt says fuck, and it's funny. For example, in Blaviken, that's a good use of it. But then there are times in the show where the characters are just walking around and they just go fuckity fuck, 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 fuck. I think that's a clip in Witcher Blood Origin. I didn't watch that show, but I saw that clip of Jaskier where I think it's like he's like watching a vision of a war, or he's like transported to a war or something, and he's just running around going fuck, fuck, fuckity fuck, 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 and it's like, what is this dialogue? Write. You are paid to write. There was also that one actress who played the elf in Brokilon that just really stuck out to me. She didn't have a gravitas to her acting. She just felt miscast. That's what I just find with a bunch of the casting in the Witcher show at times, is that the actors they hire just don't have gravitas. They don't have presence. They feel very amateurish. And it doesn't help when you put them in scenes with actors like Henry Cavill and Anya Chalotra and Freya Allan and Joey Beatty, because they have charisma, they have gravitas, and when you surround them with amateurish actors, it makes the actors look more amateurish. Also, a lingering complaint I have with the show is the cinematography. I don't like the color palette for this show now. Ever since Season 2 started the new orange and teal oversaturation, it's just carried on throughout, and it makes a lot of the shots look very ugly, very cheap, and very amateurish. Use some digital film emulation, man. Just use Dehancer or Film Convert or something and make the image look softer. Add in halation, add in grit, add in texture, add in some gray. Come on, man. Why does it have to look so boring and just so digital and cheap? It's also jarring too because when they flash back to season 1 in this, they flash back to Blaviken, and you see the cinematography and you're like, oh, this is distinct, this is unique, this has a style. And then it just cuts back to the generic looking stuff they shoot in season 2 and season 3, and it's like, can we go back to season 1? That being said, the action in the second half of season 3 is awesome. You can really see the work Henry Cavill and the stunt coordinator Wolfgang Stresemann, the stuff Henry and Wolfie choreographed together, you can see that all in play. One of my favorite scenes in the entire thing happens in the last episode, where Geralt and Jaskier are trying to get past the border with the Nilfgaardians. They get past, and then Geralt sees the Nilfgaardians mistreating a bunch of kids, and Geralt just beats the shit out of them and kills them. And it's awesome because that was very witchery to me. It reminded me of the end of the first book, where I think Geralt is in Yennefer's temple. There's a knight that shows up. He has beef with Geralt because he's a witcher mutant. Geralt leaves Yennefer's temple at the end of the book, and then he meets that same knight and they fight, and Geralt beats him without even touching him. And the scene where Geralt beats up all the Nilfgaardian guards reminded me of that from the book, and I was like, oh, finally, this is like Witcher stuff. This feels like The Witcher. That's something I can't really attest for with season 3. I don't know how book accurate it is. To me, it feels more book accurate. There are moments where I go, oh yeah, this feels like the stuff from the books. But there are also moments where, like, the Radovid stuff, for example, I could tell that was fan fiction. The BDSM stuff with Dijkstra and Philippa, what was the point of that? That was so weird. Also, the Jaskier-Radovid romance was kind of pointless because it's like, Radovid ends up betraying Jaskier within one episode, then Jaskier's just like, I don't want anything to do with you. And then Radovid just goes back to his king, Vizimir, I think, his brother. And then Vizimir is killed off by someone, some organization. I think, is this the Scoia'tael? Anyways, he dies, Radovid becomes king, and it's like, okay, did you really have to have him and Jaskier have a romance then? Especially seeing as how Jaskier gets over it fairly quickly. He's just like, you betrayed me. You tried to steal Ciri, this little girl that I'm here to protect. How dare you? And he just gets over it like that. Oh, sure, Radovid helps him at one point. It just felt emotionless. I didn't really care for that. Tissa's death was actually quite good. I thought that sequence was done really well. I don't get what happened to her hair. So she, like, used this, like, magic stuff, this, like, lightning stuff, and it, like, turned her hair white, but did that drain her power too? Was she slowly dying? Because I didn't really get that. They didn't convey that very well if that was the case. But the sequence where she dies and Yennefer finding her body, that was powerful. That was good stuff. The episode with Ciri in the desert was good, but I feel like the pacing dragged on a little bit. Again, the action to me is just not well thought out at times. When she fights the big, like, crab creature thing, could have been done better. In many ways, I feel like they should have had it mirror the Kikimora fight. I think they played the same music as the Kikimora fight, actually. So I think that's what they were trying to do, but I think the choreography should have mirrored it much more. At the end of the season, Ciri ends up with the girl that stole a bunch of coin from her in the first part of season 3. And that's interesting. I don't know where that's supposed to go. How's she going to reunite with Geralt? Emhyr has arisen as the Emperor of Nilfgaard and Sintra, and now has the fake Ciri by his side. So that's also interesting. And Geralt and Jaskier are off in search of Ciri. The episode ends, they play Ride Witcher Ride, and I'm not gonna lie, that was both underwhelming and cool at the same time, because in the episode you see Jaskier writing Ride Witcher Ride, and then the episode wraps up, it cuts to black, and you just hear, Ride Witcher Ride, with the wind that moves the trees. And I'm like, okay, yeah, that's kind of cool. That song is just awesome. I don't know, when it comes to the Witcher show now, I can definitely say I like it, but also, I don't know if I'm going to continue because I am here to see Henry Cavill as Geralt of Rivia. While Ciri is obviously the main character of the story, the main draw of the show for many audiences is Henry Cavill. He just plays the character so well. Also, something I need to mention, they finally broke his sword. Thank God. Now, don't get me wrong. I liked the design of that sword in Season 1. But in Season 2, when they show the Witcher 3 swords, I'm like, okay, cool. Geralt needs to get those one day. And then the fact that in Season 3, Geralt's sword breaks, I couldn't help but feel a bit of cathartic, which is funny because normally I hate when swords break, but I got really bored of that sword design and I kind of wanted something different. And then Geralt gets a new sword by the end of the season and I'm like, okay, cool, so we're gonna like build up the fact that Geralt gets to Witcher 3 swords. Another pet peeve I do have with the show is the costuming this season did get progressively worse. Like, why is Geralt just constantly in his black stuff? Like, I know in the book Geralt wears black, but he normally is wearing armor and stuff. What happened to his armor in season 1, his season 2 armor? Where did that go? They just had Henry Cavill walking around in the leather trousers and the black tunic, and it's like, what happened to his armor, man? Give him some Witcher 3 looking armor. That's a nitpick, but there are also times where the costuming does look quite lazy and quite cheap. At the end of the day, season 3, I liked. But I'm unsure whether or not I'm going to continue the show. Because the plot threads are interesting. I am now interested in where the story is going to go. I don't know how accurate the show is being to the books, but as of right now, I'm interested. Because at the start of the season, I was not interested. I was like, I'm done with season 3. But then I get to the end of season 3 and I'm kind of like, I kind of like where the story's going, but also I kind of wish Henry Cavill was staying on as Geralt because he's so good. It's frustrating. I guess I just have to wait and see for a trailer for season 4 to see if I'm buying Liam Hemsworth as Geralt of Rivia, to see if he is worthy enough to fill in the shoes of Henry. I don't know. It's just interesting to see where this goes, I guess, because at the end of the day, season 3 I thought was good. There are dumb and silly things in it, as I've pointed out, but as an overall viewing experience, I watched it. I didn't hate watching it. I didn't get angry watching it. I watched it and I went, oh, there's some like bad filmmaking here and there's like some pretty goofy and silly things, but overall, I'm enjoying myself. This is no House of the Dragon or early seasons of Game of Thrones, nor is it even The Witcher Season 1. But I'm enjoying what I watched. Even if the show falls apart from here, at least we can say that we got 3 seasons of Henry Cavill as Geralt of Rivia, and even though the writing at times was questionable, he was always fantastic as Geralt. I'm sure Anya Chalotra and Joey Beatty and Freya Allan are going to deliver in future seasons, but again, Henry Cavill was the heart and soul of the show. I wish them all the best of luck, and for all I know, season 4 looks good and I will watch it, but as of right now, I'm conflicted, because I thought season 3 was good, but I hate the fact that we're losing Henry Cavill. But those are just my thoughts on The Witcher season 3 as a whole, I guess. Whilst it has a bunch of dumb and silly things in it, I enjoyed watching it. Those are just my thoughts. What did you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below. Like, subscribe, follow me on social media, all that good stuff. Until we meet again, I'll see you guys next time.